Nicholas Jackson ready to join Manchester United even without Champions League football, as Fabrizio Romano confirms a Manchester United Garnacho swap deal. Talks are underway. It's being assessed. Could this happen? We know that Manchester United want to sign a striker. Jackson is on the list. Romano has confirmed what David Ornstein said yesterday in the fact that United want to sign a midfielder, which is very important. Please be Baleba. I know we can't afford him. Maybe Javi Guerrera. Manchester United want to buy a midfielder, a goalkeeper, and a striker by the end of the window. And reports are coming out that Amorim approves Lammens. There's a lot of clubs interested in Lammens, but his dream move would be Manchester United. Could that be the next signing in the door? Romano's confirmed targets and plans. The pre-season squad is out, by the way, guys. Hojlund reportedly now open to Manchester United exit, and Marcus Rashford's deal is done. So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news, transfer news, and update roundup. I was going to do a live, but I just didn't get enough time, so I do apologise, no live this evening. But we've got a 10-minute roundup show, so you're up to date on all the news. So let's get into it. So this first story has come up from Sully, who has good credibility and links to Manchester United, and he said the following. Ruben Amorim has approved the signing of Lammens. The player considers this a dream move and personal terms will not be an issue. He is highly rated within the club and the focus is currently on outgoings. So Sully has confirmed that Amorim has internally approved the signing of Lammens. So that's a good thing. The player is dreaming of United. Personal terms will not be an issue, but we're focusing on outgoings. The feeling is that United want to sell Bayindir and then bring this guy in. And Bayindir raises a couple £1 million to bring this guy in. There's a feeling Bayindir will go, he will leave. He's exploring a move. So maybe we have to wait to do this, wait to see what happens with Bayindir, or maybe we can do this and then sell Bayindir. There's talk of, Amorim being happy with Onana, this and that. It's not necessarily that Amorim is happy with Onana. It's the fact that Amorim's upset that he's not going to be able to sell Onana this summer because of the wages and the book value. So Amorim is sort of building a relationship where he's happy to keep Onana, but he wants to bring in a keeper that he feels can challenge Onana. And Bayindir isn't seen as good enough to challenge Onana. He's not better than Onana. Onana was pretty crap last season, but Bayindir is not better than him. And obviously we know from Romano and many credible sources that we like Lammens. We've been linked to him for a while. This last week it's really heated up in terms of Lammens to Manchester United. The player open to the move. This could be the next signing over the line. I don't know if we're waiting to sell anyone to bring him in, but when he's only going to be about £14 million and the money we've made in saving wages with Rashford going, maybe this can be invested into Lammens, or maybe United just want to get that striker signing over the line first. Now, talking of striker signings, Nicholas Jackson has given indications that he is open to joining United, even without Champions League football. So Manchester United are being given the green light on Nicholas Jackson's end about him being willing to join Manchester United, even without Champions League football. So what does this mean? There's been talk about United's interest in Jackson for a while, and Chelsea have had a long-standing interest in Garnacho. Could a swap deal be on the cards? That is the question. Well, I want to get into what Fabrizio Romano had to say. Romano had to say that Jackson has been offered to United and Chelsea still maintain an interest in Garnacho. So we've been offered Jackson, Chelsea have interest in Garnacho. That's what's been confirmed by Romano. Romano said that United are aware of Chelsea's potential interest in Garnacho and they are open to discussing the conditions of a swap deal involving Jackson. So Man United and Chelsea are open to discussing the conditions of a swap deal for Garnacho and Jackson. That has been confirmed by Romano. Romano said we're not proceeding with an official bid for Jackson because we're still assessing the main candidates for the striker position and we haven't necessarily chosen that we're going to go for Jackson. But Romano is suggesting Sesko, Jackson, Watkins are among main candidates in the striker position and we're now assessing which one to go for. I think Garnacho having interest from Villa and Chelsea very much helps us in a pursuit for either Sesko or Nicholas Jackson. Romano had said these comments via Give Me Sport in regards to Nicholas Jackson and Garnacho, and he's basically suggested that he's been offered as one of the chances for Man United to add a new striker because we know Ruben Amorim desperately wants a striker despite signing Mbeumo and Cunha, which again is further suggestions that we signed Mbeumo and Cunha, we have Xerxes, we need a midfielder, we need a goalkeeper, but we're still desperate for a striker, which is further confirmation of really where Rasmus Hojlund stands for Amorim in the club as well, that we still want a striker. And as Romano said, Chelsea still have interest in Garnacho. But Romano did say we haven't chosen Jackson yet. We're still assessing our striker options. Sesko, Jackson, Watkins are them, but we haven't chosen yet, so they still might not advance. Now, before we get into some other transfer news, updates, and stories, we are on our way to America for the pre-season tour. Now, as you may have noticed or guessed or assumed or we sort of known by now, no Malacia, no Sancho, no Anthony, and no Garnacho on the pre-season tour. Rashford's now at Barcelona, so those 4 players miss out. And Nana is on tour despite picking up an injury and it coming out he wasn't going to be on tour, just because he's going to be in and around the squad, but probably unable to play on tour. Leach is on tour, but again, he's probably going to be unable to play, but he's going to be in and around the squad to learn and be part of some of these sessions. Crazy to think that Luke Shaw and Mason Mount are fit for tour. Ethan Williams has been called into the tour last minute, actually, because originally he wasn't going to come, but Maguire's had to stay home and he's going to join up with the tour later on. Maguire said all is good with him. I think he has a baby on the way or something. I don't really know why. But obviously, out of the young players, there was no Godwalker Conkey, but Reece Monroe and Tyler Fredrickson did make the squad. No Camerson, which kind of surprised me. No Shane Lacey, which kind of surprised me. Collier's obviously in there. Sekou Kone's in there, which is good to see. Jack Fletcher makes, which is good to see. No Jack Morehouse because the plan is for him to go out on loan, and no Harry Amas because the plan is for him to go out on loan. Diego Leon obviously in there in probably the place of Harry Amas. And then in attack, Obi's in there with Bendito Mantato, so it'd be good to see a little bit more of him. And Ethan Williams has got a place. No Ethan Wheatley, so I assume we plan to let him go on loan. But they're the forwards. But the big ones being involved are Cunha and Mbeumo. I do look at it and I think, though, Cunha, Mbeumo, Ahmad for the 10 roles. Xerxes can play 10, Bruno can play 10, Mount can play 10. But I still feel like we lack a little bit of pace. Maybe that's just me. I feel like we lack a bit of pace. I think because we're not going to be in Europe next season, we can get through the season with Cunha and Mbeumo, Ahmad, Xerxes, Bruno, Mount, all able to play the 10s. But I do feel like we lack a little bit of pace there. And Mbeumo was quick and Cunha's quick, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, when we lose Garnacho and Rashford, like, I'd say, like, they're quick players, but none of them have got that electricity. Is that just me? That was just something I was thinking. Like, it's not the end of the world. The priority is midfielder, striker, goalkeeper. But I do look at wing-back. I do look at maybe pace and players that like to run onto the ball. I do look at a centre-back for depth and go, could this be addressed next year? Continuing on, we obviously did a video on this yesterday about Ornstein pretty much confirming United's targets, and Romano has basically said what Ornstein has said. He said there is a chance for the club to add one midfielder who can bring intensity, and that's a key word for Ruben Amorim during internal talks. Ruben Amorim wants a midfielder with intensity. Ruben Amorim wants a midfielder who's got good physical levels that is quick, and that's something he mentioned in the first pre-season game. We weren't quick enough on the ball. We know that Ruben Amorim wants a physical, good, quick midfielder, an Amadou Onana type guy. I'm hoping also someone that can progress the ball. It's all good having a physical, quick type midfielder, but if that midfielder cannot progress the ball, we're going to be in trouble. And like Ornstein said yesterday, Romano confirmed that United want to add a striker, centre mid, and goalkeeper before the end of the window. They're the 3 priorities. And Ornstein said there's not a particular order. I've always got the suggestion from Romano and sources that the order will be go for a striker, go for a goalkeeper, then go for a midfielder. Ornstein has suggested we're not actually looking to act in any particular order to do this. So that's one interesting thing to be mentioned. Big up everybody as well. I hope you are enjoying today's video. In regards to the final few stories to cover, Marcus Rashford has signed his new contract as a Barcelona player. His news coming out, which is good to see. There was a rumour that there might be registration issues, but he's now signed the contract. I think that should be fine. I think they'll be able to register him. And a source that I'm not super familiar with, but I saw a United exclusive post this, said that Hojlund now wants to leave United this summer, and Atalanta apparently want to bring back the striker, and Lazio are targeting him. He's been linked to AC Milan, Juventus, Napoli, Inter, Atalanta, and now Lazio this summer. Basically, every club in Italy wants to get Hojlund. There's talks of some clubs willing to give us 30 million, but United need 40 million because of book value. But the fact that we're looking at a striker, and David Ornstein even suggested it's likely Hojlund will go, says to me that Hojlund's future at Manchester United isn't exactly 100% safe. Anyway, people, thank you for watching today's show. I'll see you next time. Bye.